I discovered my therapist was sharing my sessions as entertainment at dinner parties, so I gave him something really worth talking about. The first time I suspected something was wrong, Dr. Harlan Reed laughed a little too loudly at his own joke during session 47. You know, he said, wiping his glasses, people pay me $250 an hour to hear stories like yours, and then I get to tell them for free at dinner parties. Life's funny. He thought I'd laugh along. I didn't. That night I went home and started keeping two journals. One was real, raw, ugly, honest. The other was fiction. Beautiful, poisonous fiction. Week after week, I fed him the second journal with my voice. I told him my wife and I had reopened our marriage. I told him I'd fallen in love with a patient from the cancer ward where I volunteer, 19 years old, terminal, perfect. I told him we met in the chapel at 2 a.m., that she called me her temporary God, that we made love on the altar while the machines beeped like a hymn. His pupils dilated every time I spoke. I could almost hear the mental recorder click on. I gave him details he couldn't resist repeating. The way her hair smelled like morphine and lilacs, the exact sound she made when the heart monitor flatlined for 7 seconds and came back, how I kept the communion wafer she'd coughed up in a silver pillbox. He started scheduling me for double sessions, therapeutically necessary, he said, practically drooling. Then came the night of his big annual dinner party. 25 of the city's most prestigious shrinks, all Botox and Bordeaux. I knew about it because his assistant still used password 123 for everything. I wore a wire. Tiny, discreet, broadcasting to a burner laptop in my car. At 9:17 p.m. over the Osobuco, I heard my own voice, recorded, edited, performed, spilling from his mouth like cheap wine. You won't believe this one, he began, and the table fell silent the way people do when they smell blood. He told them everything, every fabricated sin. They laughed in all the right places. Someone asked if the girl was real. Harlan winked. Real enough. I waited until he reached the climax, the part where I confessed I'd unplugged another patient to keep my lover's heart monitor from alarming security. That's when I walked in the front door with 2 detectives and a warrant. The room froze. Harlan's face went the color of old oatmeal. Good evening, doctor, I said, calm as November. You told them the story so well, I thought they deserved to hear the ending in person. He tried to stand. His knees betrayed him. The wire had been running the whole time, of course. Every guest's laughter, every, oh my God, that's insane, captured in high definition. By morning, it was on every major news site with the headline, Top Therapist Exposed Bragging About Patients' Psychopathic Fantasies, but the fantasies were fake and the recordings are real. Harlan lost his license, his practice, his marriage, his freedom. Wire fraud, breach of confidentiality, the charges stacked like bricks. And me? I never needed therapy again. Sometimes revenge is just giving a monster exactly the story he's hungry for until the story eats him alive. Moral? Never trust a therapist who smiles when you cry. Your turn. What's the pettiest or most nuclear revenge you've ever pulled? Spill it in the replies. I'm listening.